Welcome back. If you made it this far, this is video 4 in our AirDrop dApp series where we're using the DecentSDK to build out your own AirDrop application. This is where we get into the meat and potatoes. We're going to be doing the CSV AirDrop today. And so what that's going to mean is that you're going to be able to first have a text box where you can type in a list of AirDrop addresses, or you can download a template, or even export from Sound a list of backers and then upload that and then airdrop to your Sound backers or any list of collectors that you want to airdrop to. We've got 4 steps that we're going to go through in this video. In video number 4, we got 4 steps. Step 1, we're going to make it a text field. We'll add a text field in there. Step 2, we're going to have the state for our airdrop list to be able to preserve the recipients. Third, the airdrop button works with the list, so when you click the button, it airdrops to that list instead of the hard-coded name that we have now. And then finally, the CSV uploader, to be able to use the CSV upload. Let's get started. Step number 1, text field. We're going to be taking most of this code from the existing Decent repository. So, yeah, feel free to copy this from this. All of this code is open source, so feel free to copy it as well. So the first thing we want is our text box, which we use right here. It looks like it uses something called an info field, which is another component that we create. So we'll copy this over first. Oh no. Oh. We could probably just make this a P. We'll copy all this over with the text field. And then the first thing we'll want to do is create a brand new component. So we've got our button. Let's create, let's just paste it in here for now. To make it work, then we'll make it right. And instead of, we're just going to make this a div. I don't know if it's allowed to be a div, but we're going to make it a div. And all this text that's currently being used to do other stuff, we're just going to put it inside of the div. Because I don't know what all this is. And I think it's just supposed to be a little description. Okay, and then it looks like we're using form registry. So let's copy, do we want to do that? Or do we want to just have our state be preserved? I think we just want to have our state be preserved. I don't know that we necessarily need to register a whole field. I'm not going to pull that in for this project. So we're going to delete that. And let's see how we're looking over here. Refresh. Okay, it looks like we do have a text box. It is pretty ugly. But again, I'm not super interested in pixel pushing. Part of me would like to do some edits on the styling, and the other part of me just says, let's keep it moving. I'm not seeing too many styles in here, so maybe it'll look better if I just make it a little bit more narrow. Again, I should not be focused on pixel pushing. Let's keep this focused on functionality. We have added in our text field. Now we need to preserve our state for our airdrop list. So what I'm going to do is add an onChange, and in our onChange we're going to receive an event. I'm going to just do all this in line. I know it's not the best practice. We should abstract it to a function, but just to get it out the door. We've got the event, and then we're going to set whatever state we decide to make, which we don't have right now. Const recipient set recipient string, because it's going to be a string. Set recipient string, and just to make sure that everyone's aware, it's not an array or any other form. It's a string. useState, it's a string. Okay. And so now for our text area, we can say onChange set recipient string is going to be e.target.value. And in the same way, we could say that the value also equals this, but we won't do that for now. we'll just have it update the state. And so now when someone clicks the airdrop button, I'm going to want to pass in that recipients string equals recipients string. It's going to complain that that variable does not exist. So let's go into this airdrop button. Let's add in props so that I can just make it any. And then we'll deconstruct those props by saying const our deconstructed prop equals props. We're passing in our recipient string, which is going to be whatever people type inside of the box. Yeah, let's try typing in an address. And what I want to do is when I click the mint button, I want it to just console log what we've got there. Console.log recipient string. So we paste that. Now we've got our recipient string. So it should log it now. Let's see if it does by refreshing our page. It looks like I never defined useState, so that'll definitely be an issue. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. I did not use state. Look at that. The computer knew that I didn't do it again. All right. Inspect the page so we can see the logs that we're about to do. Console. Let's just copy my wallet address here. If MetaMask wants to operate in a timely manner, which it never does. Thank you, MetaMask. We'll paste just, whoa, what is that? Oh, interesting. Okay, so the text is the wrong color. So we want our text to be black inside of there. So let's make that update. Do text area, class name, what is it? Color black. Can I just do that? CSS is not my forte. Maybe just no. Okay, so because we don't know, we're going to go over to Tailwind. Tailwind text area text color. Let's see if that gives us something. It's just text. Okay, so we're going to make it text, and let's see if the text black works. It looks okay. It looks like it might be updating now, and I don't need to just refresh my page every time, which is going to be great. Save me a little bit of time. Feeling a sneeze coming. And it looks like, excuse me, looks like our text is black now. So let's see if I still have my address saved. I do. And now when I click airdrop, is it going to log it? It's going to redirect me over this transaction. Let's come back. Baby, come back. And it looks like we logged our recipient string. That's dope. Okay, so we've preserved the state for the airdrop list. Now we want the airdrop button to actually work with that list. And so for just one address, we can just throw it in there. But so I guess that's the lowest lift, is let's have it be a dynamic address, and let's do that, but we're very quickly going to need to change it to be able to handle more than just the simple address. So first thing that we can do is, instead of it being this address, we can have it be recipient string. And that's going to be the lowest lift. Whatever address we put in there is what it should mint to. And so even though I'm connected with this wallet, if I plug in the null address, null, and I go back over here, and I plug in the null address, we should now run an airdrop to the null address. And so we can run this transaction, we're actually on the wrong network. I need to switch over to Optimism Guerrily, and so this transaction shouldn't work, to be 100% honest. Yeah, we're just sending Matic right now. That's a bug. I should be verifying that. Is it a bug? It's definitely a bug. Is it a bug worth me fixing? Optimism Guerrily is the network they should be on. Make smarter tools that are easier for musicians to use. All right. I'm not sure it worked. Let's refresh the page and try it again. Oh, I don't think we can mint to the null address. I think that's something we're not allowed to do in decent contracts. So we're gonna go dead address. There it is, it's 0x dead. Copy dead. Paste dead into there, airdrop that. Now we get it, okay. So I guess it's just the same as the null address, just replace those last 4 characters with DEAD for dead. And I guess you could kind of send it anywhere, but the dead address is pretty rock solid. And so we'll airdrop. This is a mint airdrop, we could see it in that transaction. And once this goes through, we'll pull it up on Etherscan and verify that it went through where we thought it would. And so the immediate next thing is going to be, how do we get this to work for multiple addresses? We can see that it was minted to the dead address. So we're now using our, it's kind of working with our list. And so now let's take this one step further. And so now let's try to do an airdrop both to the dead address as well as to my personal address, which I should just be able to copy from here. And so if I put both of these in, I'm sure we're now going to get an error we did. We're getting invalid addresses. And so what we want to do now is copy our validation code that we're doing, which is this replace, and then we're turning it into a list. And then we're iterating and then making sure that all of them are actual addresses, and as long as they're addresses, we're good. And so we can abstract this into its own function inside of an airdrop button. Const get recipient array equals arrow function. Paste all the stuff. We need to, so we don't have toast, but we should have ethers. I like toast. I think toast is pretty good inside of apps. What don't you like about it? Okay. And then data is going to be recipient string. So we're going to modify the recipient string, and we're going to replace all the white space and any new lines. We're also going to remove any extraneous commas. And then this turns it into a list. Convert to array. And so at this point, we should have an array, and then we iterate over that array. And afterwards, we're going to want to return the airdrop list. And recipient string is a string, so I can give it that type. What don't you like? String array, wait, string, no, okay, I guess that's fine. Interesting that it's giving me this error here and not in the decent codebase const, because I was thrown off by this. I was not expecting this, so we're just gonna throw in that weird variable name. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, I think you're done complaining. Get recipient list is now what we're gonna do over here. Const recipients equals get recipient array with recipient string. I actually think recipient string is just a prop, so we don't need to be passing this recipient string around. There's no need for us to pass this around. Okay, that's much better. Okay, we've got our recipients now. Let's console log what we get for our recipients. Yeah, let's just see what happens. All right, it looks like we do get 2 recipients, and now I guess let's just try plugging that in and see if it worked fine. Let's copy those recipients, and instead of right here, instead of recipient string, we can delete all that. We can paste recipients, and we should have a successful airdrop to 2 addresses this time. And we can verify it all on chain. Isn't that right? We do everything on chain. Give musicians sovereignty of their applications by open sourcing code and making videos. Show them how to build their own minting pages so they can mint whatever they like. It's a hyperstructure when you can build forever. Okay, let's come back over here, and we can see that we just minted 2 different airdrops, one to the dead address and one to myself. So we were able to airdrop them both. The last thing that so our airdrop button is definitely now working with the list. The only other thing that we want to do is get the CSV uploader in. And so let's bring the CSV uploader in now. Let's see what we got to do. I believe I built a whole other component called AirDrop upload. And so part of me just wants to copy this whole component just to save some time because we're already at 17 minutes. And for everybody's sanity, I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. And if you want to build it yourself, feel free. I am just not going to. AirDrop upload. And so we'll make this its own component. We're even just, you know what? Yeah, let's just make this super simple. We're just going to paste the file in there. We probably don't have this React paper parse, and we also don't have React Toastify. So this seems like a great reason to add them both. I've been wanting Toastify. You know what? Nah, we don't need Toastify. We really don't. If someone complains, we can add it. Yeah, because it's only for, we're just going to console.air that. It's only for error handling. No, we should not be using Toast. We're not using Toast. We're using ethers. We need React paper parse. So this is the new node package that we need. Let's look it up and see if there's anything special while it's all downloading. So while we're gonna crash this npm I, npm I that guy, so you can see pop a parse. Okay. The fastest in-browser CSV parser for React. That sounds promising. We got the install, and then it looks like we can just use it right out the bat. So I'm going to assume that we can just use it. I'll keep this open just in case we need it, but I think we can just use it, so we should be good now. Boom. And so let's just look through this, making sure it does what we expect. We've got a CSV reader on upload accepted, class names, accepted file, success. We've got some images that we don't have, so we'll probably copy over both of those images inside of our public folder. We've already got icons. We already have success PNG. We just need NFT image doesn't make sense. Audio placeholder. Okay, I guess it's the placeholder. Kind of makes sense. Let's copy that image. Audio placeholder. Audio placeholder. Okay. All right. We've got our images in there now. We've got some divs. stopping the propagation, download a template. We now need the template. So let's add in a new folder called examples. And in there I'm going to put our airdrop template, AirDrop.CSV, copy that, paste it into our examples. We've now got that. Anything else we need? I think we are good here. Is valid airdrop is going to run this function, which is going to verify whether it's a valid airdrop. That looks great. We're then going to set the airdrop, which is going to be a prop that's passed in, then we set success. And so I need to pass in a set airdrop function to actually set, and it looks like it's going to be an array. No, it's going to set it as a string, which is perfect. Okay, sweet. I think we're all good. So let's come back over here to our index. And so we've got our text area. Now let's add our AirDrop upload component. And inside of here, we need set airdrop equals to set recipient string. And we should now have an airdrop upload if our server is running, which it's not. When the server's running, it should work fine. Alright, it looks like it is not looking pretty, but it looks functional, potentially. So let's click on here. Yep, we can now select one of our downloads. I'm going to select a Sound XYZ backers list. It looks like it set it, but it did not update the text here. Why didn't it update the text there? Because our value needs to be equal to recipient string. And now we can see and verify our list of airdrop before we mint it. But we can airdrop. We get 11 recipients in this. We open up the transaction, and now we can airdrop to 11 people, right like that. We'll do one more verification at the end right here. We're going to go over to Sound. We'll download an address list from Sound, and then we'll just airdrop some NFTs to some random collectors from Sound, which is going to start opening up the question box. Is it cool that we're just like airdropping stuff to random people? I'm sure people have very strong views on that. Let's just look on their recent drops. Anybody that I know? Misha. Yeah, let's grab something from Misha. It's a sold out drop. That's dope. And then we got the seating. You just click these three dots, export the CSV. It's going to download it, and now we should just be able to bring that right over here. You know what? Let's push the, let's just do it here. We're going to delete all this. Let's get us a new list from today, backers. So this is Misha's list. It's a much longer list. When we click airdrop, this is, how many collectors we got here? Oh wow, that was nice. 100. We got 100 collectors we're about to airdrop to. So we're about to run an airdrop to 100 people. Boom. We fire off the mint airdrop, and then we should have just airdropped to 100 people. And that's everything. So once the transaction goes through, we'll verify it on Optimism, or on Etherscan, just to make sure that it did go through. But I think we're good to go. And so talking about the next video, I believe this next one's going to be the last one, and it's going to be some kind of nice to haves. Right now, we have a hard-coded contract address in here. I'm going to add a contract address field so that you can plug in any contract address you want, and I think we're just going to assume whatever chain you're on is the right chain. We just did an airdrop to 100 people, and I'll see you in the next video.